Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Meta Tuesdays here in Arena Underground. This week we are featuring the one and only Mythic Simic Flash. This deck took 3 of the best players in Magic to a top 8 finish at Mythic Championship 7 this past weekend. Shout out to Seth Manfield, Brad Nelson, and Javier Dominguez. I believe this deck was brewed by Seth and play tested with the team. So before the short deck tech, just wanted to remind you, if you enjoy the content, make sure to click that subscribe button. It's a way to provide free support to the channel. Also hit that bell icon and get notified whenever we upload new videos. Alright, so let's talk about this deck. Basically, this deck, we've been playing Simic Flash since before Throne of Eldraine, but it was a more aggro version with Brineborn, Cutthroat, and Wild Preserver. Now this version tries to go a little bit more over the top with 4 copies of Nissa. We have 2 copies of Hydroid, and then we have 3 copies of Paradise Druid. I think Paradise Druid is kind of a key card here because it allows you to have early ramp and be able to have enough mana on turn 3 to be able to play your Frilled Mystics and also of course your 3 mana counters. But Frilled Mystic being kind of maybe the most important card of the deck, and why we play Simic Flash, because it counters pretty much everything, and then also is an extra body that you leave on the battlefield to be able to attack next turn. So this is what we're doing. We're playing all our counters, then we get to Nissa, and then we get to Hydroid with the help of Paradise Druid. And then we have a small sideboard here. We have a couple more counters with Negate and Mystical Dispute. We have Lovestruck Beast as a way to, have the defense against the aggro decks. And then we have one copy of Crushing Canopy just to get rid maybe of a Fires of Invention or an enchantment, something like that. And then we have 2 copies of Sorcerer's Spyglass, which is pretty important here against all the cat decks running around. Now, Javier Dominguez was not able to win the finals with Simic Flash, but again, 3 decks in the top 8. It's a really good deck, and congratulations to Canister, or Piotr, I believe is his name, for winning the finals with his John Sacrifice build. If you haven't watched our video from yesterday, we uploaded a new series, a best of 3 games with Mythic John Sacrifice Canisters version, so go ahead and watch that if you haven't. And that's all for our deck tech. Let's go to the games. Okay, we are playing rank best of 1 this week. This is Mythic Simic Flash, and this looks like a keep. Sure. Our opponent is playing Jeskai Fires, and they have both of the Sphinxes of Foresight in hand. They are also playing first, so we are in a bit of trouble here. We have to set up to counter a possible Teferi on turn 3, I believe. So we can play Breeding Pool into Island. Our opponent does not have a Teferi on turn 3, we can Growth Spiral. That sounds like a good setup there. Okay, Quench is not bad at all. I think we are leading with Island here just in case we need to fire off this Mystical Dispute early on. Alright, we do not need to do that. Let's lead off with this Breeding Pool. We get to leave Quench and Mystical Dispute up. Our opponent just have blue sources here. That is the white source they were probably looking for earlier. Are going to play our Growth Spiral now. Okay, we're gonna pass the turn again. We're looking to counter a Fires of Invention. Alright, here comes the fire. no better time to cast a Quench. Alright, we now have the Frill Mystic online. Put a stop on our opponent's end step. That is a Sphinx. Do we care about this? I think we fired off Mystical Dispute now. And then we can fire off our Growth Spiral at the end of the turn. Have our 5 lands in play. Okay, we don't want to play Nissa yet. We want to make sure we counter another Fires of Invention. They could also try playing another Sphinx. That is Teferi. Teferi is going to get countered here by a Frilled Mystic. We do have a Sabotage online. Alright, that is another land. That's not bad. So we play Nissa here. We can untap our Breeding Pool, leave a Sinister Sabotage. Alright, we are going to do that. Remember that when untapping the Breeding Pool, when you tap it for blue mana, you actually get an extra green source, so we do have our counters online. Could have also played the Nissa first to get more damage in, but yep, here we go. That's another Fires of Invention being countered. Don't need any more lands now that we have Nissa online. Alright, our opponent did find their 5th land there. And this is what this deck is kind of made for. It's made to be able to kill Fires of Invention, which is kind of the #1 deck in the meta currently. So sure, our opponent gets to do some scrying and whatnot, but they are dead on board next turn, because they can only block 1 creature, so this is just them trying to see what was on top of their deck and see what their chances could have been. Just to be double sure. Alright, we were going to play our Ambusher, but we didn't need to. Good game, opponent. Okay, we are playing Simic Flash in Best of 1 Standard. This is the Mythic version. This hand is not that great. We don't have a lot of our early plays, so we are going to mulligan this. This we have to keep. We can send back a Frill Mystic, and we can scry with our Temple of Mystery. Fortunately, we do go first. Alright, send a Frill Mystic to the bottom of the library. Scry with Temple of Mystery. Keep the Sinister Sabotage. Alright, and we are playing against Celestia tokens, so let's get the Paradise Druid in play. Alright, this is some sort of ramp, Temur, Guildgate. Alright, we are playing against Guildgates, sure. Alright, so we are going to pass the turn, keep our Sinister Sabotage online. Okay, is that something we want to sabotage? Sure, let's do it. Don't believe we keep a land here. Kind of already have enough sources. We do draw a land anyway. No attacks here. Okay, opponent gets their 4th land. That is a circuitous route. Okay. So I think we do play our Crassus here. Let's attack first with our Frill Mystic. Interesting, our opponent blocked there. They might not have a sweeper in hand. Alright, let's pass the turn. We are going to try to Growth Spiral into a counter. It has to be exactly a Sinister Sabotage or a Quench. We did not find that. So the 8/8 comes down. We are going to Growth Spiral again. Scry. So we will get to play a big Crassus. There's one thing we can do. Play a 5/5. Make our opponent have an answer here. Cancel. Let's play a 6/6. Alright, so our opponent now can do whatever they want because we are all tapped out. Let's see if they have what it takes. Alright, that's a Deafening Clarion into a Sweeper or another Deafening Clarion. Okay, we are going to take this 8. Okay, with the lifelink, that's pretty good. This has trample, so we can Aether Gust that. Alright, we are not going to attack this turn because our opponent needs another guild in order for the Gatebreaker to have a plus here, so we can potentially protect ourselves. Okay, we do not mind losing our island here. So we are going to put this Gatebreaker on top of our opponent's library next turn. Alright, so we are going to do it now. Our opponent gets to decide here what they want to do. So we sort of have protection against another Agent of Treachery. Start chipping away of our opponent's life total here. Short, it's an Arboreal Bracer, that's fine. Can protect them against our Hydro Crasses. Alright, we are going to put a stop on our opponent's end step here. Let's see if this works. Right, another Aether Gust. Looks pretty good here. We can kind of protect Nissa in that way. Alright, our opponent's at 10. That is a Fae of Wishes. Okay, we'll let that go. Let's see what they bring in. Alright, Sorcerer's Spyglass, which we will quench. So, for Aether Gust, this are Boreal Gracer. We don't get to win this turn. Although Nissa goes to 1, you can animate another land. Alright, so we're just gonna go on and win this game. That is fine with us, opponent. We get the Aether Gust, your Boreal Gracer, and that should be lethal on board with the +1 from Nissa. Good game. Okay. So this hand is not bad. We get to counter a bunch of stuff. We are going to try it out. Hopefully we draw into some action in the next few turns. Alright, we're gonna play our Temple of Mystery to scry. 9-pack Ambusher is action. Yeah, I think we'll keep that. See what we're playing against. Alright, this is Adventures, of course. So our opponent will be able to start benefiting from the Edgewell Innkeeper. Alright, Gruul Adventures, okay. Sure. And this is a Rimrock Knight. I believe we want to fizzle that. This way our opponent does not have another adventure creature available next turn. Okay, here we see another Innkeeper. which I believe we also have to quench. Okay, breeding pool. We do have to take the painful damage. Not ideal. Yeah, the one thing with the adventure decks is that once you have the innkeeper on the battlefield, you kind of want to start playing your adventure cards without their instant speed sorcery threats, because you want to start taking advantage of the innkeeper. Paradise Druid, not really what we want. I would rather to actually get a few more counters. Alright, our opponent must think that we are running out of counters and it's gonna go full mode. They are probably right. Okay, here's a Bone Crusher Giant. Sure, that's fine. We get to Nypack Ambush. Alright, that is a Brazen Borrower. That's not too bad. We are going to pass the turn here. Alright, let's see what our opponent has here. That's a Domrish Ambush. So it's gonna be a 5/4. Hit our Nypack Ambusher for 5. I think we are going to Brazen Borrow that, even though our opponent's going to be able to cast it and draw a card from it. But that's game. Good game, opponent. Alright guys, we are playing Mythic Simic Flash in best of 1 standard. We go first, so maybe we get to steal this with our full Mystics. Otherwise this hand is not great. Don't have any early gameplay. Yeah. Alright, we are gonna mulligan this. I think this is too slow. Alright, this is much better. So we get to put a Fable Passage on the bottom. We get to play a Temple of Mystery. We are looking for our 4th untapped land possibly here. Real Mystic is not it. Alright, this is possibly Jeskai Fires. So we actually need more counters. Alright, we are possibly playing a Quench next turn. So we'll play the Forest here. Alright, it's untapped Source. Alright, in this case, we'll go with the island to not get more damage done to us. I'm gonna put a stop at the end of our opponent's turn. We think Brazen Borrower could be fine, although if they have Bone Crusher Giant, that could be an issue. Alright, let's let that go. We are gonna have 3 counters online next turn. That is a Shimmer. Do we let that go? Could be searching for their 4th land that they need. So I think we'll let that go. I'd rather counter Fires of Invention, Cavalier of Gales, such. So we are now going to play the Borrower and keep a clock going. Okay. So our opponent has the option here to Bone Crusher Giant or Brazen Borrower, but I don't think that's usually what they want to do. We might see a Teferi here, or maybe they do decide to use the Bone Crusher. That is a definite Clarion. Right, since we have these two other counters here, we are gonna stop that and play our Field Mist to get a bigger clack on board. Right, that is nice. That is a Fires, which we are going to quench. And this is probably game. We could play our Brazen Borrower here. But we still would have lethal the turn after. If they play... I mean, they kind of need a Fires of Invention and something else. So let's just pass the turn here. Nissa, it's not bad, but don't think we want to play that right now. Just gonna get in, pass the turn, leave our Sinister Sabotage online. Yep. And that's game. Good game, Fires of Invention. Okay, we don't have a lot of action here, and our opponent goes first, so I think this should be a mulligan. Yeah, ideally, when you're on the draw, you want to have your Quenches, Sinister Sabotage, and such. Having Knappack Ambusher means we're going to be doing things on turn 4. And yes, we get a Scry, but not necessarily gonna get us what we need. Alright, we're gonna mulligan. This is not necessarily better, but we can't really go much further down. And alright, we're playing against Ramp. So this could either go really well or really bad, depending on our next draw steps. Okay, we are looking for counters. So this is Simic Ramp, sure. That is a Lifkin Druid, that's fine. We are going to send that to our opponent's hand. Do not want them to play a Cavalier next turn. That is a counter. That's pretty good. Let's pass the turn here again. We're going to put a stop on our opponent's end step. Alright, so our opponent is missing lands. So that gives us options here. Alright, we now get to play a Breeding Pool and pass the turn. So let's see if our opponent, alright, they found their land, sure. But they are most likely going to play that Lifkin Druid again. We are going to let that go. We can then play a Brazen Borrower. Start chipping away of our opponent's life total. Alright, our opponent is thinking. Wonder if they have an unsummon to play with their Temple of Mystery. They do not. We draw a Temple of Mystery. Alright, I believe we will like more counters. you get to attack. Alright, we're gonna pass the turn, aim to Frill Mystic something here. That is a Hydrocrassus for 3. Now, is that something that we want to stop? I do not believe so. I think we let that go. We can play another Brazen Borrower here. Pass the turn. Our opponent does not mind. Okay. That is a land, so we play Nissa. We could leave a Frill Mystic up. Not necessarily. Because we need the 2 blue manas here. We tap for Nissa, we're not going to be able to do that. So I think our best bet is to... Let's first attack here. Opponent's going to block one of the Crassus, short. So we will pass a turn, have a Frilled Mystic and a Growth Spiral available. We do not want to see another Crassus. And that is exactly what our opponent has. So let's play the Growth Spiral first and see what our options are. Okay, we get to play a land. Opponent gets couple of cards here. Alright, I think we don't have much choice. And we are gonna look for another green source. Alright, opponent. So our opponent is currently in the lead, even though we have a board. We don't have much to do here. So we can play Nissa. It's not going to be precisely great. Or we can play a 5/5 Hydrocrassus. Alright, let's attack first. I think we go with Nissa and aim to play a bigger Crassus next turn. This way we also leave mana available for Castle Vantress. Alright, so let's do that. We untap a green source here. Pass the turn. Now, a big Crassus won't necessarily get us there, but it's one thing we could do. Now, this Nissa is going to be pretty annoying. Alright, that is a Risen Reef. Sure, opponent's getting a lot of value here. Alright, gonna try to Castle Vantress now. Either Gust looks pretty good here. Can actually leave these two cards on top and grab them with our Hydro Crassus. Yeah, this is fine. We'll draw one of them. Okay. We can then do this. We can play a 5/5 Crassus. Let's see. So if we attack with everything, all right. I think I like this move. Let's give them back their Nissa. We can then play a 4/4 Crassus. We now have options and we have a negate. Sure. So our opponent has to protect their life total here. They have to jump. They kept their Nissa on top, so that tells me they might want to try and play Nissa next turn. Hopefully that's what they do. Although if an Agent of Treachery could be a potential issue. Okay, I think they are tapping for Nissa. That is fine, opponent. We get to negate that. And this might be game. I believe we play correctly this game. Either that or our opponent just misplayed. But they might not have anything in hand. Sure. Alright. That still gives us lethal next turn. Alright, so they have 4 blockers. We're gonna have 6 attackers. Yep. That's game. Good game, opponent. That was all for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and click the bell icon if you want to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Have a good one.